Okay, so it's 7 o'clock. We're going to start because, as I indicated in the email to all of you, we will not have a quorum this evening. So we will not be able to vote on any items, but we certainly can have discussions, and, particularly move forward with the our event for November 9th. So I'm going to call the meeting to order. Today is October 6th, 2025 at 7:01 p.m. This is the Wakefield Commission on Disabilities. A reminder that this meeting is being recorded. And I would like to do a roll call for attendance. So just say here when I call your name. So Lorna.
Here.
Charles.
Here.
Judy.
Here.
And Marie is here. And so we're missing, absent tonight is Lois and Dan Benjamin. Paul Pagliarini. And Janice Marabasi.
And then you've also got Nico.
And Nico, yes. Let's just do the pledge. We don't have a flag, I don't think. Oh, yep, Lorna's set. Thank you, Lorna. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Our mission is to address the needs and concerns of our disabled residents and provide their full participation in the activities and services of Wakefield. Same where we don't have Janice, we have not received the meeting minutes to the 8th or the 22nd. So hopefully she will have those for our next meeting in November, as well as potentially updated financial report. There's no one in specific from the public here for public participation, but we do have Tim Wilson here, who Bill Renault has sent in his stead to provide us an update on the Colonel Colony Park and Lower Common. Tim, welcome to the Commission on Disabilities. I'm sorry that you can't see me, I guess. My camera's not working this evening, but pleasure to have you. And we'll just let you begin if you're ready.
Yeah, so can I share my screen?
Sure. Let's see, do I have to let me figure out how to do that. Oh, yes, you can do it. Okay, great.
Okay, so Bill, I know sent this plan out earlier today. It just covers a little bit of believe about what you guys were talking about before in terms of having a roll-up spot at the Colonel Connolly Park over off of Lowell Street. So basically it just shows a little path with an area and has one of those the tables that have the accessible spot, just like the one out on Maple Way. It's pretty much the same setup, same idea. We matched what was over there to kind of keep it consistent. So beyond that, this also shows a couple of shade structures that were requested by the Friends of Lake Quannapowitt. This is something really that's more for them, but considering it's in the same area, we figured we'd try to dovetail these two projects in together. The shade structures would really be through the Friends. The stuff that you guys would be funding would be the or funded through this group would be the path here, the little asphalt path with the pad, as well as the picnic table going in there, so that there'd be an area for that. I believe the estimate was sent out as well. The cost for this particular work is a little over $10,000 to complete that. Beyond that, is there any questions that you have on any specifics on this particular plan?
No questions, but I mean, I think the shade structure is very interesting, and are there going to be benches there as well, did you say?
There wasn't any planned benches in this area. I mean, we can look at adding some benches if that
No,
was.
I'm just curious. So what we're gonna add, is the table as we've communicated, the
Yep.
path to the table. And
Yep.
then the friends are adding the shade structure. And so that's the structure that you're contemplating?
They're contemplating a couple. There's this one as well as a structure that's a little bit more of a, just did it change? Do you see the two posts now on the structure?
Yes, yeah.
So,
And that the other one looked more like a canvas versus this looks more like a hard covering.
so they should both be canvases. The difference really
Okay.
between the two is just the style on which it's held up. This one's a single post that, has a kind of like an umbrella overhang, whereas the other one has a full, has a post on either end with some supports in the middle, as
Yeah.
well. So it's something they're considering, something they're looking at, because they had noted that they would like to see some shade potentially.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of trees in this particular area of that park.
This looks fabulous.
Yeah, it does.
What an improvement that will be, and I think it will be well utilized. Thank you so much for
Sure.
putting this together. We're thrilled that it's coming together.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
absolutely.
So
The
are
other
you
one-
anticipating doing this in the springtime, or what's your time frame?
So the next steps for this is because it's a structure, meaning like the picnic table, the installation of it would need to be approved by the town council. So Bill he had asked that, you guys would vote, but I understand you can't vote today on basically approving the layout and writing a letter to town council, kind of noting the layout, what you're looking for, and that you'd be interested in moving it forward. It sounds like that's going to need to kind of wait till your next meeting to move forward with that. But basically, that would be the next steps. I believe the funding's already been secured, so it would just then need to be. We'd either use an on-call contractor that we have through the town, or we could unlikely but potentially put it out to bid.
Well, I'll be voting a great big yes, because this looks fabulous.
Good.
Yes, you kind of drove some of this, Judy.
I'm thrilled with it. Couldn't be more pleased.
Good.
That's great. We may be
Yeah.
having our commission meeting sitting out there next, maybe our final commission meeting if they get it up in time. We can celebrate at the park.
Absolutely. As far as I'll move on to the other, if it's gonna let me. Let me just make this a little smaller so that I can. Well, I don't know what it's doing to me. Are you seeing like half a screen here now? Let me just stop sharing for a second. I just
That looked like the whole thing.
it wasn't letting me select the plan I wanted the way I wanted. All right, there we go. All right, so you can see the lower common plan here. So we looked at this was requested that we take a peek at this, take a look at, adding a path as well. So essentially to build it in any sort of compliance without having crazy grades, slopes going up and down or regrading the whole lower common, the best route to take would be to kind of wing out and around the bandstand there and kind of have a looped path out around it. This just includes an asphalt path going from the sidewalk all the way down to the existing gravel path and then paving that section from the gravel path to the parking area. They would include some granite curb remove and reset. I will say at this point on this plan, this is very, very rough and very preliminary. We haven't completed any soil analysis or had a topographic survey out there to really understand the grades. So the cost on this also is much higher than than the other little project we looked at there, coming in roughly over $100,000. From talking to Bill, if this is something you were looking to move forward, even with the higher cost, it's going to have to go through a lot of permitting, and it's going to have to get a lot of approvals. So his recommendation would be, if you were looking to move this forward, the first step to take would just be to bring it to the town council to see if there's any support behind it. Because without support, this project's going to die on the vine really quickly. It just
I have one suggestion that may make it less
Mhm.
costly. So I see the smaller path coming from Church Street,
Yep.
and then kind of a little roundabout at the gazebo itself. Honestly, that would be plenty.
Just stop there. Don't even keep going from there.
That's what I'm suggesting. Because right now, if you're going to take part in something at the gazebo, right?
Mhm.
And you can't get out on the lawn, what are you going to do? You're going to probably park right where those cars are, and you're probably going to use that sidewalk on
Mhm.
Church Street, and that's as far as you go. So you're basically on the sidewalk with your walker or your wheelchair or your whatever, watching from Church Street.
Mhm.
See what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I happen to know that a lot of folks are able to get from that handicap parking spot that's right on the corner there, and then they can get, yes, and then they can get over to the Church Street sidewalk. And then if there was just that small little pathway there with the little roundabout, that could kind of get them positioned closer to the event. I don't know that you would yes, exactly. I don't know that you would specifically need this other whole jog, which I do know is sloped. And I don't think that this area from Church Street direct to the gazebo is the same slope. So that's my immediate thought looking at this, that maybe you don't need to do that other L.
Yeah, you're saying your idea would be to mix all this.
Yes.
Can I just ask a question?
Yeah.
If we get rid of this L here, which I'm looking at, yes, it makes things simpler if we get rid of it. I'm just thinking about if somebody or an event is around this side of the gazebo and they need to use the porta trolleys, which they're usually parked down around here. Then that person would have to go out and around to come down here to go instead of just going there.
So
So
you're
the
saying,
porta johns are usually on, they're usually on
Usually on that corner of
Lake Ave and whatever that,
Yes.
what's
Spalding
Spalding,
here?
what is that? Yeah.
Yeah,
Spalding
Spalding.
Street, right, on the
Right.
corner of Spalding
Right, they're
Street.
usually, so
Right.
whoever, what, they would have to travel the sidewalk and then cross the parking lot from where from the path.
Right, no, I was just saying, if people have, and they have events on this side, that they would have to then go out around this way and then come down to be able to go to access the bathroom, as opposed to being here in this area and getting on this path and going over.
So you're just saying that the path would then be extended out this way.
Yeah, they'd have to travel yes, that's how they would have to travel.
It would
And-
require some travel, but honestly, it does now anyway.
And whoever was having the event would have to be cognizant of that path, as I think about the Buddy Walk this coming weekend. You know, they often have a big tent right there along Church Street, for registration and things like that, and they would have to be cognizant that that path could not be obstructed in any way. either by the tent or by the stakes or, right? And so you.
It would be
Timmy-
great to do the whole thing, but I see the expense that you're talking about.
Right.
And I do know that that's significantly sloped there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the slopes, while they're sloped, I mean, I guess it's not over 5% in that area, so technically is compliant in that sense. But definitely a lot of the cost is going to, and especially a lot of the regulation is going to be as you get closer to the lake, and your, as in terms of your conservation and everything else. So would everyone be interested in understanding the cost of the smaller setup?
Sure.
Yes, and so you're proposing asphalt is,
Yeah, we were looking at it as an asphalt path, yes.
Yeah, that
What
makes a
about-
different story when it's that close to the lake to have runoff from asphalt goes into the lakes.
Say that again?
I said, when it's that close to the lake, asphalt during the rain, a certain amount of the chemicals in the asphalt runs down into the lake. Although there's probably a good buffer zone before it hits the lake.
Yeah, the concern on that, I mean, certainly in the early first year or two, there'll be some minimal runoff from the asphalt. But like you're saying, most of that's going to be filtered out through the grass before it gets down there. The bigger concern typically is just adding impervious area, which stops the water from being able to infiltrate into the ground in that area. But it's relatively minimal compared to the large, field that's there. So in terms of conservation, the smaller area would definitely have less of an impact, obviously. But it could be looked at in both ways.
and Tim, what is the material that's used for the pathway? That's down by the old burying ground.
So the stone dust kind of path. So
Yeah.
well, that's kind of a mix. That's stone dust with some concrete and like cement dust in there as well to kind of hold everything together.
So
In this-
personally, I really appreciate the asphalt. Something that you could really get a wheelchair or a walker over. But I personally think the smaller footprint would be really nice. So I don't know how much less expensive it would be for that smaller footprint, but it would be certainly a good starting point and much better than what we have right now. So, which is
Yeah,
nothing.
I can definitely update the cost estimate based on the smaller footprint. And I'll get that back with Bill and so he can take it from there. But yeah, that should be pretty easy to figure out. Were there any more questions on this one?
I guess not. Thank you. We very much appreciate you taking the time
Yeah, absolutely.
to do
Yes,
this
thank
for
you
us
very much,
tonight.
Tim.
Yeah. Was there anything else that you guys needed me on for?
I don't know that you can help address the residents concerned about the handicap parallel parking. I don't know if that's just
Yeah.
Bill's purview or you have
Yeah,
any.
unfortunately, I don't have a lot of input there or a lot of knowledge there. That's certainly more of a Bill question.
Okay, well, we can at least discuss it amongst ourselves and then hopefully Bill will make the next call and we can have further discussion then. So if
Okay.
there is no further questions for Tim, thank you again.
right.
And we'll look forward to seeing you at another time.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Have
Thank
a
you
good
very
night.
much, Tim.
Have a good night.
Bye.
So the next item on the agenda is a resident's concern. And Judy, for your information, we were approached while at the town day at the commission table, a gentleman with a daughter in a wheelchair approached us, and he expressed a concern about the fact that many of the handicap parking spots that are parallel parking, and he gave us an example of Common Street there, right near the lake, that the parking spot is on the wrong side of the street. And he said typically, and you know this better than any of us, right? If you have a van, it either opens in the ramp, either comes out the back or it comes out on the passenger's side. So the spot in particular that he was referring to on Common Street was on the left side. I don't know if that's heading south on Main Street, so that if he were opening his van door to get his daughter out, he would be pulling her out into the middle of the traffic. And his recommendation was, all we need to do is move some of those signs from one side of the street to the other side of the street, which would then allow the van door to open, if it opened on the passenger side, onto the sidewalk.
So I'm guessing what he's referring to is that there's no zebra stripes next to that, you know, the zebra stripes so that you can get a wheelchair out or whatever you need.
Right, well, on Common Street, that, you know, again, you're opening your van door into the street.
Right, but
So
does that parking spot have zebra stripes or none? My guess is it does not have it.
I don't, no, Alona, when we walked, we didn't see any. It's just a spot, it's just a parking spot, and then it had
That's what I
a
think
sign
too.
that said handicap
I
parking.
think that's one, and I think that's where the issue lies for this particular situation. So if you can picture it, a lot of the parking that's parallel has something next to it with zebra stripes. And so nobody can park there because that's so that you can get your equipment out of your vehicle, right? And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this particular one doesn't have the zebra stripes. I
Looking
don't
to
know if
see
there's
it.
a spot that those could be painted onto the area. I'd have to look at it to see, but
There are such stripes, like in that parking lot on the corner of Water Street and Main Street.
maybe it's
Across.
is it the one that this family is specifically referring to?
He said there are many situations like this across
Yeah,
town,
so
not, yeah.
yeah, and there are spots that don't have a spot to unload. Not just in Wakefield, but in
Right.
many areas.
Right.
And it usually is the pull-ins.
Yeah, the pull-ins we have those zebra lines for most of them, I think. But the parallel parking, yeah, it's just like if you put the parallel parking on the other side of the street, then people could get out on the right-hand side, usually with it might be a sidewalk or something. Especially the ones on Common Street. I don't know about
So are they talking about a spot where they're parking against the curb, or are they talking about a spot that they're pulling in so that the front of their vehicle is parked and the back of their vehicle is towards the
Pulling against a curb.
yeah, parallel parking.
So they're parallel parking where the driver's side is against the curb, but their van opening is passenger
On
side.
the right side.
And they're in the, and then they're in effect wheeling their loved one onto the street.
Oh, okay. So I understand what you're saying. So so would they like to have another spot on the side of the street that they can utilize better? Is that?
Yes, and I don't think that they're I don't think that they're asking for 2 spaces. I think what they're saying is just move the sign that's where it is from the left side of the street to the right side of the street so that you can, in effect, get your loved one out of the door. Here, let me see if I'm gonna figure out how to share this. Yeah, here we go. And let me know when you can see my screen.
Yep.
Can you see?
No,
No, it says,
oh,
oh,
here it
there you
is,
go.
here it is, here it is.
Here's the spot right here, right by that do not enter sign. It's right here.
And that's town hall, so that's like that's Common going towards the town hall at the corner between Common and Lafayette Street.
Right,
He's saying that the spot right there on the left has no lines and they have to go on the other side, because all those spaces then on that stretch, you'd have to park on the left side and they all open out into the street.
right. But this
But he's
spot
talking about
could
that
be
one. Yeah, the last
here.
one on that. Yes, that one's
For
that one's not even
instance.
lined.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, you know, I don't know that we could request that every handicap parking spot be moved, but maybe strategically, some of them be moved.
I guess it'd be interesting to find out exactly how many parallel parking spots there are in Wakefield. And to see if they can all be moved would be really great. And if not, then we can try to figure out what ones could be moved and, but not knowing how many there are.
Right. Well, we can send Bill an email and maybe he can kind of do that, a little bit of homework before the next meeting. So that we can have a more detailed discussion. The next, anybody else have any more on that? Okay, so then the next item was the open space committee, again, while we were at Town Day. One of the members inquired about if there had been any discussion with us regarding funding for the Nacella playground. Her point was, and the Nacella playground is the one over by Shaw's, where the new cheese shop is, that playground near the Little League field. She said it's really a mess, very old equipment. And we received, Bill actually received an email from Judith Green from the town, noticing that this was an agenda item of ours and inquiring. And what Bill responded back with was that there is a planned capital project for the Nacella playground, but it would be managed by the Public Works Department. And it sounds like there's a plan to just replace the playground. But it doesn't appear as that is happening anytime soon. The date I see here was a potential 2035. So, you know, Bill's stating as we got closer to the date, he would obviously discuss that with us, where, you know, we would, like we have in the past, probably recommend certain type of playground equipment and accessible paths and maybe a picnic table like we just saw that Tim showed us. But it didn't sound like that was happening anytime soon. But again, that would be, we would need confirmation from Bill. So we'll have that conversation with him at the next meeting and then maybe close the loop with the individual that approached us.
Do all the playgrounds come underneath it? Was it DPW?
And the Public Works, he said, yeah, in this case, I don't know. if
I'm
all of
surprised they
them
didn't
do,
come out with
probably.
recreation or something. I suppose they're the ones that take care of the maintenance of the lawns and stuff, so.
Well, I mean, at least they have it in sight, right? It's not like it's never been discussed before. They've obviously been discussing it, and it's, they have it slated in a capital project to be replaced, just not high on the priority list. I mean, obviously we've got some really nice playgrounds in town, so there are other places to go.
I guess the point is that parents go down to watch their child play Little League, may also have younger children. And that they could be playing at the playground and still being able to, parents still be able to watch them on the playground and be able to watch their kid playing Little
And
League.
that is true, because I did that for many years.
Yep.
You're nice to have, but
So did I misunderstand you? Did you say that the project is not to be done until 2035?
well, that's what's written here in this email. So we wouldn't want to have that conversation with Bill to make sure
Yeah.
that that is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or, maybe there's maybe there's a potential to do it in phases. I don't know. He will have the details, I'm sure,
Yeah.
so. Or, Joe Conway would be another person that we could reach out to. He was copied on this email, so the discussion transpired today, so maybe, Joe just hasn't had a chance to see it and get a response back to us, but hopefully we'll have more at our next meeting. And then, okay, so if we're set on that, let's talk about the best topic of discussion tonight, which is our Disabilities game night. So Nico, Judy copied you on some of the correspondence that went around today. So Judy took the opportunity to go down to the Boys and Girls Club and look at the space that they were offering up, because of course we're having some conflicts with the times in the space at the AmeriCal because of other events they have going on. And Judy thought that space was perfect. She said there's 2 rooms, there's a game table. Judy, you were there, so maybe you can best describe.
Nico, I'm curious if you've been down there at all.
Oh, I'm very familiar with it. I was there throughout all of COVID.
Okay, so honestly, I was thinking that this would be a really, really nice space for us. So you probably are familiar with what I looked at. So do you know where the pool table is and
Yeah,
the ping
that
pong
big
table?
room.
What's
It's
that?
the big main room.
Yes, and then next to that room, there's a room that has tables and chairs and a tiny little stage. And then they said that if we wanted to do karaoke, we could set up the karaoke on the small stage if that was what we wanted to do. And they said that we could use the pool table if we wanted to. We could use the ping pong table if we wanted to. I didn't specifically see where the ping pong supplies were, but I assume they're right there. They also have this great big Connect 4. You might be familiar with what I'm talking about, this great big one, a game.
It's changed a lot since when I went there.
Yeah, but they said that we could use that if we wanted. They have a whole cupboard full of board games. They said that we could use those if we wanted. I specifically asked if we were able to have the Inspire Cafe there serving slush, apple cider, and lemonade in that space. And they said yes, that we could do that. They were super inviting. And so, as you know, now you have the contact info for the gentleman that I talked with. So if you had any specific questions, concerns, etc., then he seems like he really is extremely interested in helping us to have a nice event there. So I would personally suggest that we move forward with that space. They are extremely welcoming, and they said that we could set up cornhole there too.
Yeah, I think that the Boys and Girls Club itself is the absolute perfect size for what we're planning on as well. I just feel like the top of it, the gym above is just too much, honestly.
Well, so Nico, the other thing that I noticed because I did go upstairs and I looked at the gym also, that floor has just been redone. It is in pristine condition. Personally, I would be a little hesitant to have a group up there with any kind of, I don't even know if they would allow any kind of food or beverage anywhere near that floor. So I think that the Boys and Girls Club is the perfect location for this. And they said that we could move the tables around and chairs around if we needed to. So, I mean, obviously we'd have to move them back, but I think, in my opinion, we should stick with the date and the time that we have planned, which is Sunday, November the 9th from 1:30 to 3:30. And that would give us 2 full hours for the event. We would need to get down there, I don't know, a little bit early anyway, and make sure everything was set up the way that we wanted. And then obviously we'd have to stay probably maybe as much as an hour afterward to make sure everything's cleaned up. But I was very encouraged, and they were so welcoming.
Yeah, they definitely are a great group. Nico, Nico, are you feeling comfortable with that?
Yeah. Oh. I don't want to change it, but I might have something that day with family. Actually, no, I might not, but I'll update you closer to the event. But I don't want to change it whatsoever when it's falling on. So,
All right, and so who, can you give me the name of the teacher who's your, for the youth council?
I would reach
sponsor?
out to Elizabeth Parsons.
Elizabeth Parsons. And she's located at Wakefield High School?
No, she's the youth council advisor. She's who I would go through.
What school is she at?
She works for the town for the youth stuff.
Okay, so she's not a teacher at any of the schools.
No.
Okay. And you're thinking that this would be the high school students?
High school, middle school, elementary, just whoever wants to come.
Well, let's keep it at the high school level. And then what's your thought if we invited, like, Lorna, you had identified some in families, individuals that expressed an interest in meeting people as well. And then I was wondering if we could maybe extend it to the staff of Inspire Cafe, because I think that they would love the games and the karaoke. One of your thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And that should, Judy's thinking that that space would hold, what, Judy, about 30 people you got comfortably?
At 20, definitely. I would have to look at, let me see how, I took a picture. But see, we do have the overflow area with the pool table. Let's see here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like they've got 4 or 5 tables, more than that even. I mean, I think it's the perfect location. And it's big enough that, like I say, there's the adjoining room that you could kind of spread out to if somebody wanted to play pool or something.
Okay, so now that we have a date and time nailed down in the venue, I will reach out to Inspire and get a quote for their participation so that we can have that for our next meeting and vote on it. We would have to pay for staff and the actual food or whatever that we were having.
yeah, yeah.
Can you email it?
Good try there. Nico,
Hmm.
did you bring it up to the council the last meeting that you had and got their
Yeah.
feedback?
I published a Google form. I'm waiting for it to be pushed out. Ideally, it should be done by the next youth council meeting, and then I can email you guys about it.
So say
Okay.
you published a Google form, what does that mean?
Just about interests among the youth council, just to see who would show up.
And when is your next meeting?
It should be around October something. I don't really know yet. Soon.
Let's see if I can forward this picture that Judy took.
So would you be able to, also, I don't know, do a push out to or make flyers to hang up in the school on any of their bulletin boards or anything like that?
Yeah, I can do that with social media and outreach.
And we can try to get Janice had offered to do the photo, to do the flyer. So if maybe if she can do that, and then we could get something to Nico.
Any help is fine.
I'm just trying to read this. Share again so you can see what Judy sent me. Now if you can see this, and we can make it any bigger. Oops.
So that's showing, something's in the way.
Yeah.
So that's showing how you can go from one space to the other space.
Oh, so this is not a mirror. This is, oh, I'm thinking that was a mirror right there.
Yeah, so you can, it's actually a space that's adjoined. So that's the ping pong table. And then next to the ping pong table, there's a pool table. And then that red game that you can see right
That's the
there, that's
Connect
the
Four,
big
yeah.
Connect Four. And then you can see they've got some tables and chairs that they said can be moved around if you needed to make a space for cornhole or something. I think it's a really nice space. And like I say, they don't mind if you have your slush and beverages there.
Right.
And the restrooms are right on that same level, so you don't need to go anyplace.
That's good. That helps. Yeah. Yeah.
And there's parking.
I think it's also just a regular ramp going in, so it's no issues for people in wheelchairs, stuff like that.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a rise, but it can be maneuvered if you had somebody with a mobility issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. It
I'm
looks
glad
like a
that
nice space.
I'm glad that you like it. So Nico, has it changed much since you've been there? Can you see a difference?
It's changed a lot. Those walls used to be red and gray. There wasn't a ping pong table. There wasn't really anything.
They've really done a great job. And like I say, they're so welcoming to us. I really was impressed with how welcoming they were. They really want it to work.
Well, they're a great organization, and
Yes, definitely.
that's always helpful. When
Yeah.
when they're interested, then they'll work with us to make it work.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, Nico, if it's all right with you for some of the Inspire folks to attend, honestly, I think that that's kind of a ready-made group for the event. And that might take a little, make you feel better. I don't want you to feel any pressure with this. Like,
I don't have a problem. My worry is I am celebrating my I realize that I might be flying out at that time, but I don't want to change the event. If I'm not there, I'm not there. It's a concrete date that everyone's agreed on, but I might not be there. I might not. No.
well, and if we invited the folks from Inspire Cafe, at least we could kind of see how the event goes and learn from it, is what I'm thinking.
Right, and if we feel that it's successful, then we can try again when you are available, and we will have worked out some of the kinks, right? Know what works, what didn't work, whether the space was a good one, or etc.
But that's not to mean that we don't try to get the kids in the high school to
Oh
come
no,
to the-
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. I agree. We'll advertise it and up there, and yeah, we don't want to go through all the effort and have no one show up. So at least you want to definitely have some folks enjoy and participate and enjoy it. Okay, so you know what? We'll communicate via email. I think, Judy, you copied Paul on your correspondence of earlier today, so he has a sense of what's going on.
Yes, and Nico, did you have any other questions about the site or?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay, well, I think then we've got our arms around this, which I feel better about it than I have in previous calls, because now we kind of, we know where, when, what time, what we're going to serve for food, what we're going to have for games. So it's just now the focus is just on advertising it and getting folks there. Okay, so
all right, so
Paul
before we move off of the topic, would you like me to touch base with the gentleman that I met with today and let him know that, yes, we're moving forward with that date and that time at the Boys and Girls Club?
Yes, that would be great. And I'll reach out to my contact there as well, because as I said, I think he's his boss. So she understands who you are and how this all came about.
Okay, great.
I'll reach out to Inspire as well, and send an email to Elizabeth Parsons and give her a heads up as to what's going on, and give the details to Janice so she can start working on the flyer. So Nico, you keep us apprised of what your plan is, okay? I'll keep you in the loop on all this other correspondence, especially with Elizabeth Parsons, so in case she has any questions for you, okay?
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Right. Yep, you're welcome.
Bye.
So, do anybody have any other questions?
There
All
was
right,
something
well,
that came to my mind and I now I totally lost it. I didn't have anything to do with it November 9th, but it's something that I couldn't remember if I got onto the agenda or not.
well, it's all right. We're gonna have some items for next month already with Bill, you know. Some questions for Bill, and hopefully Judy has some of the minutes typed up, because that's always helpful to,
Well, it's not gonna be
jog
Judy,
memory.
so.
I'm sorry, Janice. All right, I don't know, Lorna and Charles, do you want to just talk briefly about the town day? Oh, and I also want to mention Judy went today to meet our new town manager on our behalf. She represented the commission, so thank you for that. And I think that when we had met her briefly at town day, and she said she would love to attend one of, she's actually said she had been watching some of our recorded meetings and would love to attend one of the meetings. So we'll look forward to that.
I remember now what I
remember.
was gonna ask.
Good.
The Halloween thing at the senior center.
Oh, that's right.
I can't remember if I got that onto the agenda or not. Did I not get it on there? I don't have it in front of me, so.
Yes, I'm looking, you did not. Yeah. I know, I don't.
I think I haven't got my calendar in front of me, but I think that I had checked and I think that I might be free that day if we wanted to have the commission,
Represented.
yeah.
Yeah, let's see if I can pull up the date
I'm
quickly.
gonna go grab my calendar. I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay, so it's a Council on Aging will be hosting a Halloween party at the senior center. They are inviting town boards and commissions to come out and have a table to chat with the seniors, provide information about your board or commission, and hand out some goodies. Kind of like a trunk or treat meet senior resource table. Tables and chairs will be provided by the senior center. All right, so we have to respond by 10/24.
So that was for October 29th, was that it?
Wednesday, October 29, 1 to 3. I mean, we have everything, Lorna. You just
Yeah,
take the suitcase.
I'm
with the
available that
stuff.
day, afternoon,
Okay,
I'm available.
as long as
too.
it's really sunny out and I get a chance to go bike riding that day. I might just do that.
okay. So I'll tell her that we will have a table there, and we've got the bookmarks, we've got plenty of literature. Now we're gonna need snacks. What do we want to do? Do we have a sense of? I think Inspire is planning to be there
Yeah.
themselves. Oh, and costumes encouraged.
Ugh.
Are you good with that? You need any? I have a
No,
kitty outfit and
I
a
always
devil.
have my cape and my black hat,
right,
sitting
there
out
you
here
go.
all the time, just in case someone needs a witch.
Yeah,
Well,
you're good, then you're good.
If Inspire is going to be there, I wonder if they could put the table beside them, and would that make sense or no?
Yeah, we could ask to be near Inspire. I don't know, I think she was gonna, let's see. What she said, she's gonna have an informational table, do some outreach. Yeah, see, I guess the conflict is that, there's a, at the Common, there's a trunk or treat later that afternoon. I wonder who's sponsoring that, because I haven't heard about that.
Is that the trick or trunk? A trunk or treat or something like that?
Yeah, it says, says, I know that Inspire will be prepping to set up at the Common for the Wakefield trunk or treat later that afternoon. So I don't know what they're giving out. And it may be that they won't have the capacity to do all of this. So, I mean, we could just purchase some bags of candy, right? And have them in a bowl,
Yeah.
couple of bags, 3 bags or whatever from CVS, have them in a bowl and call it a day. Or just have our bookmarks. The bookmarks are beautiful. Janice has done such a beautiful job on those. Those are
I
the,
know, they really are nice, aren't they?
yeah, they really are nice.
Did an awesome job on them.
And that might actually be more interesting than candy. that's
And
being
candy,
given
right, because everybody else will be giving out candy, right? So. Yeah, I think that's great. We'll have all our stuff. Lorna will wear her cape and hat and we'll be good.
I even have my broom to ride every now and then too.
Well, that will be tricky because you'll be hauling that suitcase with all the
Yeah.
stuff, so.
Yeah. Maybe I can put a spell on it to have it go on its own.
There you go.
But speaking of the 29th, do we have a meeting of a FIOC meeting that night, Marie?
Yes, we do have an Inspire meeting that night. Well, I'm not sure because I don't know that we've
It was either
chosen a date.
21st or 29th. It looked like
Right.
the 29th was going to be better for everybody else, which I mean, for most people, and we haven't heard back from Janet.
Yeah, well, I'll
Okay.
connect with her and find out, but yeah, I'm leaving that following day to travel with my mom at the crack of dawn. We have like a 6 a.m. flight, so I'm not planning to do much. Okay, if that's it, then I think it's 7:59. I think we can go ahead and adjourn our meeting. Thank you all for your participation. I'm looking forward to our November 9th event,
Yes,
and it's going to be a great time.
it is. It's going to be fun.
All right, now I get to figure out why my camera's not working.
So Marie, you'll extend the invitation to the Inspire group?
Yes, yep, I'll definitely contact them right away to make sure that they're gonna be available to serve. But yes, then I will also extend the invitation. And then Lorna, it will, hopefully Janice can quickly get you up the flyer and then it'll be just a lot easier if we have that to hand to people, right? Okay, so can I have a motion to adjourn? There's not many of us.
Well, we can't vote. But I guess we can give a
I
motion.
guess-
I motion to adjourn.
And we'll
second.
second that.
Yep, I second.
Thank you, Charles. So, all right. All right, well, you all have a good rest of your month, and we will be in touch by email on the details.
All right, and I'll send an email to John tomorrow and let them know that we are all set on that date and time.
All right, and you know what? Copy me on that, please, and then I'll forward that to my contact, so
Okay,
she's got the whole picture.
perfect. All
Okay.
right,
Thank you.
have a good night.
Have a
Everybody
good
have a
night.
great month.
You too. Bye.